the court, Luke Louch. Luke Louch with 2 seconds. Comes the ball. Jump shot, Stair. Good shot. Knowles win. Knowles win. Michael Stair's triple with no time left.
It's time for Seminole basketball. This is the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. Sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. Coke Zero. Enjoy a refreshing jump shot to the taste buds. An icy cold Coke Zero. Fresh from Florida Gulf Seafood. Proud sponsor of the Florida State Seminoles. And by SunTrust, the official bank of the Florida State Seminoles. And now your hosts, Gene Deckerhoff and head coach Leonard Hamilton.
Welcome to the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. Gene Deckerhoff along with head coach Leonard Hamilton. Coach, it's great in the ACC. Florida State now, 5 consecutive wins.
Well, we've gotten on a little run here. There's no doubt about that. And our players are responding very well. We feel like we continue to keep getting better. Each and every day we can just stay focused, take it one game at a time, take it one practice at a time. But our guys seem to be getting some momentum and they're gaining some confidence.
And when you play on the road at venues like Cameron Indoor Stadium and Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, and you come away with wins, people around Tobacco Road really take notice now. We've blazed a trail along Tobacco Road.
Well, there's no doubt that being successful against the teams in North Carolina is huge for your image that you're trying to build, your resume, so to speak. So, but we still have a lot more games to play, and we just want to continue to keep getting better.
On today's program, highlights of Florida State's huge win over the 4th-ranked Duke Blue Devils and a big victory over Wake Forest on the road. And in between those highlights, we'll also get a chance to visit with Deividas Dulkys from Seminoles, Lithuania. I think I said that right, Deividas. Coming up, highlights, FSU Duke. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. And, Coach, we promised highlights. We've got great highlights from Cameron Indoor Stadium, and what a tremendous win over the Duke Blue Devils that was.
It was a very important victory for us, obviously, on a national basis because of the scenario surrounding the fact that they won so many home games in a row. The fact that we could go in there and come away with that victory against the 4th winningest program in the history of college basketball gives us national recognition. In the ACC, only one victory, and that's what you got to keep in perspective.
Florida State at Duke Cameron Indoor Stadium. As you can imagine, the Cameron Crazies were there early, and there you get a view of a couple of Seminole fans in foreign territory at Cameron Indoor. We had a few there, Coach.
Well, here you see Ian Miller taking the ball to the basket, and we were able to utilize his scoring ability to kind of keep Duke at bay, so to speak. Great shot here by Okaro. He hasn't hit very many threes this year, but at least that tied the score up.
Yeah, took one, made one, and Okaro White shooting from the perimeter. Boy, a collision there, and no foul. They let you play physical, don't they?
Well, I'm glad they didn't call the foul because we got a jump shot, but I thought that was a foul.
Yeah, Deividas Dulkys, he's going to score double figures in this ballgame. We'll have a highlight feature on Deividas in this ballgame. Good offensive rebounding against Duke.
Well, it was a game that we had to play a complete basketball game because Duke's very good. There's no question about that. And you have to be at your very best in all phases of the game in order to be successful.
Duke always has their patented runs, Coach, and we sort of weathered the storm here in the first half and keep it close, keep it manageable.
Well, there's no doubt that Duke will. Duke, that's another one of those fouls that they missed that we were able to score on. So I was pleased that they missed those calls.
Final shot, yeah, it looked like Deividas was having pretty good. And how about, did he call glass on this one, Coach? Michael Snare with a 3-point shot.
Of course he called glass.
and that made it a 6-point deficit at halftime, single digits, 2-possession ball game, and we're going to play basket for basket here in the second half.
There's no question that was an important part of the game because getting those 3 points gave us. So I come out the second half, we were taking the ball inside a lot more. That was Bernard James. Great pass, great feed. Great finish at the basket by Deividas.
Yeah, Deividas gets the basket. The X-Man, Xavier Gibson, gets an assist. That's rare for X-Man.
Well, there's no doubt that we need all this. We needed all the assists. We need all the baskets we could get. Our guys are very emotional, played a very good game. And that's a call they might have missed on them, too, because I thought Xavier came over his back there. 16
points, 5 rebounds, and 3 block shots. Xavier Gibson had a career game in an ACC game. 16 points led us in scoring in this game.
Great pass by Lucas. Great read. That's the kind of chemistry I see our team developing.
Yeah, and you see the reaction on the bench there. Big stuff by Xavier Gibson. The Seminoles going to score in transition here.
Great read by Luke, playing with a lot of confidence, giving us tremendous leadership.
8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists for Luke Laux in a very big ball game.
Great finish by John Kraft. Great feed by Luke Laux. Guys were really playing together, moving the ball very well. Just really playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and we trail 4, we come back, we tie. We're down 3 points, and the Seminoles are going to get a big 3-point shot from Ian Miller from the left wing.
Playing with an awful lot of confidence. That was a real big play. We need to tie the game up. The game's winding down. They're playing very well. We're playing very well. It was a well-played game, and I thought it was just one of those warrior-type games that you like to enjoy if you're a fan. For a coach, it wasn't quite so enjoyable after the game.
First ACC 3-point shot made by Xavier Gibson. When you're hot, aren't you, Coach?
There's no doubt about that, and that was one of them, oh no, way to go type plays from the coach.
We had a replay there to show his form on that 3-point shot.
Absolutely. Once again, we're taking the ball inside. Bernard came up big the second half. Every play was important. It was one of those games where you definitely had to play well. Great pass, great feed. Obviously, kids are clicking, but you have to be that way against Duke. There's a great feed, but Bernard had the presence of mind to throw the ball into Xavier. We got to stop him from doing all that yelling when he makes a basket, though.
11 times the game is tied, including this basket stick back by Bernard James. 5 lead changes, and probably about as exciting a half of basketball as we have seen.
Well, I'm sure that the fans enjoyed watching this game. Those who were just pure basketball fans wasn't cheering for either one team because it was just the lead was changing. It was a very competitive game. Our guys were doing a big play by Michael. Once again, I'm glad they didn't call that foul. He finished. That was a very important basket right there that put us, I think, up 1. He just went and took that basket. The determination that he showed on his face during that critical part of the game was very important.
Into the game now, and they drive to the basket by Austin Rivers. There's collision there, no foul whistle. They tie the game at 73-all, and here comes the biggest shot of the season.
No doubt about that. That was a great ball screen, great read by Luke, and just a great finish by Michael Snare. That was a big-time shot as the game was ending. He knocked it down. There's no question that was a huge play in Florida State basketball history.
And again, we look at it from the deep right corner, right in front of the Seminole bench. And, the bench saw it going through from the get-go. When it left his hand, everybody I don't know about the head coach, but all the players were jumping up. They just knew he had the bottom of the net on that shot.
I knew it was going in all the time. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
45-game home win streak goes by the boards for the Duke Blue Devils. Florida State earns just our 2nd victory ever at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And, Coach, that's our largest winning margin at Cameron Indoor. We won by 3.
Well, they're a very good basketball team. There's no doubt about that. They're well prepared. They're loaded with All-Americans all over the place. And Coach Krzyzewski was very gracious after that game. But our players fought very hard, and we came away with a much-needed victory.
Michael Snare named ACC Player of the Week. He led us in scoring in that ballgame with 16 big points, including 2 buzzer-beating 3-point shots at the end of the first half and the end of the ballgame. Florida State beats Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Up next, a chance to visit with Deividas Dulkys from Salute, Lithuania. That's just around the corner. Welcome back to the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. And Coach, every week we feature a Florida State player, and the connection between Deividas Dulkys and Florida State University is long and strong. But we didn't realize that he had somebody that of Lithuanian descent that he really enjoys going to class to.
Well, there's no doubt that David has that kind of personality where he gets along with everybody, and he's developed a nice relationship with his professor.
Down the court, Luke Laux dribbles, gives the ball to Dulkys. 3, catch and shoot 3. Good shot, Dulkys. The Nose lead 21.
Senior shooting guard Deividas Dulkys is known for his smooth moves on the basketball court, but he wasn't always so smooth with the ladies.
Back in Lithuania, we don't try to be rude, but we say what we feel like. And I think one of the girls, when I was back in Henderson, asked me if I want to go to prom, and I was like, no, I don't. And I was just honest. That's how I felt. I didn't try to be rude, but people told me later when they heard it that it's not common to say that. I guess I was rude a little bit.
A straight shooter and star import of the FSU men's basketball team, Dulkys was born and raised in Lithuania and didn't come over to the States until he was 17 to pursue his dream of playing hoops.
When I just got here, I was thrown out in the middle of a school year, in the middle of a basketball season, so I didn't really have time to think about my family, how much I missed them. After the season, that's when I kind of started getting homesick. But it was just a couple days in a month, and then you just keep going and going because you have a goal and you reach for it.
And Deividas' strong work ethic comes from his background. In Lithuania, there is no such thing as a snow day.
We get 30, 40 inches of snow and nobody even cares. You just still walk to class.
And it was in a business management class at Florida State where fate brought together Deividas with a fellow man of Lithuanian background, his professor, Wayne Hochwater.
Oh, it's like 500 people in a class, and he comes in and looks at me, goes and points at me, like, you know I'm Lithuanian. I'm like, huh? Like, yeah, I'm Lithuanian, and just walks away and doesn't say anything else. I was like, yeah, that's nice. So I went and talked to him after class.
Though Hochwater is originally from Chicago, the two bonded over their shared roots.
Being a basketball player and a student athlete from Lithuania, it's rare, but also being a faculty member who has a Lithuanian background is rare also. So I think that there's a certain kinship that goes along with what certain Lithuanian traits are supposed to be and how they've continued through the generations.
One of the Lithuanian traits Deividas and his professor share is their drive to succeed.
Growing up where we grew up, and much where I grew up on the south side of Chicago, you had to make do with what you had because you didn't really have many opportunities to get a lot. It's just a very solemn work ethic where you just do the best you can with what you have, but you don't stop working.
Another trait shared by Deividas and Professor Hochwater is their ability to sink shots. One time before a game, Deividas invited his professor down to the court to shoot around with some of the players, and Hochwater didn't disappoint.
They were shooting around, so I popped in to say hello. I waved, and next thing you know, I had a basketball flying at me. So I thought, well, okay, if you're going to give me the basketball, I'm going to do something with it. So I went out there and I shot one free throw, and for some strange fluke or some strange act of John Wooden gods, it just happened to go in.
No, he's pretty good. That's what I'm saying. He's Lithuanian. He has that in his genes.
It's clear these two are quite fond of each other. Professor Hochwater had nothing but good things to say about his former student.
When you talk to Deividas, you get to talk about different cultures and different kinds of foods and different language and different kind of social events and media events and political events and the places he's traveled. His wealth of knowledge in terms of just the world as opposed to just Florida or the Southeast gives him a tremendous advantage, not only probably in basketball, but also just what he is going to do beyond this because he just understands more pieces of a puzzle to be put together than a lot of people.
And hopefully, the pieces will fall together for Deividas to achieve his ultimate dream, playing in the NBA. I'm Morgan Shepard for The Leonard Hamilton Show.
Welcome back to our show, the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. And Coach, a victory over Duke, they don't get any bigger than that. But how about back-to-back road wins along Tobacco Road? We're going to go back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and play the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. You know, we haven't put together back-to-back wins out there at Veterans Memorial Coliseum in a long, long time.
Well, it's an important game for us. There's no doubt about that because it was a kind of a game that after we played a very emotional game against Duke, we were very concerned about our focus, and our guys stepped up to the challenge, and I thought they played very well.
Florida State at Wake Forest, they did a little bit different defense than what we expected. Of course, you can't defend a slam dunk like that, but Xavier had some words and got in a little trouble.
Well, he got a technical for being a little more emotional, and that's part of the maturing process that you have to go through when you want to become a program of significance. Those are not the kind of plays you need. John Kraft was very good. The first half, came off the bench, gave us 2 big buckets. He was physical. There's no doubt about that, and he did a good job. Luke got in foul trouble. Jeff Peterson came off the bench and did a great job of another foul that was missed. But that's the kind of plays that went on in the entire game, guys stepping up or doing a critical part of the game when I thought Wake Forest was playing very well.
A lot of hustle by the Seminoles, and defense led to offense a lot. They say Luke Laux with he gets about one of those 3-point shots a ball game.
Well, there's no doubt that we needed those baskets in the first half. They were very, very prepared. They did a very good job. There's no doubt that we needed each one of those baskets. You see that at this time during the game is a very closely contested game, 17-14.
We saw a little difference in defense. That was man there, but they had zone. Michael Snare is on fire, Coach. He has a game-high 18 points last night.
Well, he was 4 for 4 from 3. There's no doubt that we needed those. We like to see that. Deividas got hot from 3 in one game. Michael stepping up the next game. Those are the kind of things you like to see from a veteran team.
How about the defense leading to this basket down the court?
Great play by Michael, just being determined that he's going to finish the basket. And once again, we needed those plays early in the game when they were doing such a great defensive job.
Coach, we went on a nice run here early in the second half, and we sort of put this game away early. A 12-0 run, about 18-2 over about a 6.5-minute period, and that's what it takes to win on the road. You've got to have runs like that.
Well, we were scoring in different ways, and defensively we were able to get some stops. We finished some baskets around, close to end baskets. There you see Bernard being very patient, allowing the defense to dictate his shot. You see us going inside again with Xavier Gibson going up very strong. Our guys are maturing and understand a little bit more how to take advantage of their talents. There's no doubt that there was another big 3 by Michael. He was 4 for 4 in this game from 3-point range. That was another huge 3. We were able to extend the lead. A lob pass against their zone. We extended the lead to 14. Here you see Okara White really being aggressive. Came off the bench and gave us another good game. Ian Miller hit his only 3 of the game. He didn't shoot the ball nearly as well during this game. He was 1 for 8, but he's really been playing well for us as well.
At the 17-minute mark, you took a timeout, and from that moment on, that's when the run started. That's the big explosion here offensively.
Well, I'm not real sure taking the timeout had as much to do with the players just needed a little blow, and then we executed much better down the stretch.
And again, defense leading the offense. Boy, the great bounce pass that Michael Snare finished.
Great bounce pass by Ian Miller. He has tremendous basketball instincts.
They had to put the press on now, actually out of desperation, and we beat the press, and that's how you finish a press, isn't it?
No doubt about that. With a dunk.
Yeah, here it is again. I mean, when they have to come after you, that's the only way they can get back in the ball game with a double-digit lead. We're going to lead by as many as 25 points in this ball game. Win by 23, Coach.
Well, that's Antoine Space coming off the bench. He hadn't had a chance to play very much. Injured his foot early in the year, and he's still a little slow coming around. But I think before the season's over, he's going to be fine. And then Ralphie steps up and knocks a 3. The whole bench they were very happy with that.
First career 3-point shot, Ralphie Portuando, and it's just his second basket of the season, and he knew it was in all the way, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Coach, we shoot extremely well in the second half.
Well, we shot 60-some% the second half. That's tremendous on the road. Anytime you can shoot 60% from the floor, but I thought we shot 60%, I believe.
68?
68%, my goodness.
That's almost 70.
Wow.
Let's round it off. 70% shooting. That's what it takes to win on Tobacco Road. Coach, huge win over Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons, their big shot blocker went down with a concussion, and we took advantage of that.
No doubt about that. That was unfortunate, and I hope he gets well real soon.
Florida State now with 5 consecutive wins, all in ACC play, and 5-1, just the 3rd time in school history, but 5-1 to begin ACC competition. Up next, we will talk about the week ahead. Stay with us.
Mason Plumlee guarded by Gibson. Oh, nice defense by Laux, just took it away. Gibson on the run to Dulkys. Big fella leading the break.
Welcome back to our show, and the Leonard Hamilton Show presented by AT&T. And Coach, 5-1 now, a little weekend off, so to speak. No games this weekend, but the week ahead, sponsored by Fresh from Florida Gulf Seafood, features 2 home games now. Georgia Tech midweek on Wednesday.
Well, that's another very important game for us because we're now at a point during the season where you can start looking and seeing how the conference race is shaping up. We have 2 home games. We definitely need to hold serve at home before we go back out on the road. I think 4 of our next 4 or 5 games will be at home. It's very important right now. If we can take care of business at home, we might put ourselves in pretty good shape.
Wednesday night, Georgia Tech. Saturday afternoon, it's Virginia. Virginia, a ranked team as we get ready to play 2 in a row at home, which has been, well, now we did play North Carolina, Maryland back-to-back at home, but 4 of our first 6 games on the road. It's nice to get back in town and play at the Tucker Center.
There's no doubt because our fans have been so important to us. They get behind us and they create that atmosphere that we like so very much at home. So we're looking forward to coming home and playing several games.
That is our show for today. Appreciate you supporting Florida State basketball and following us right here on the Leonard Hamilton Show presented by AT&T. Next week, go Noles.
This has been the Leonard Hamilton Show, presented by AT&T. Sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. Coke Zero. Enjoy a refreshing jump shot to the taste buds. An icy cold Coke Zero. Fresh from Florida Gulf Seafood. Proud sponsor of the Florida State Seminoles. And by SunTrust, the official bank of the Florida State Seminoles.